Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of Toaster's Choice. Thanks for joining me this week. I'm your host, Trevor Oster. And on this review show, it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. We're going to review 3 movies a week. So it's going to be one movie that's currently in theaters, one movie currently available for streaming, and another movie I really think you should add to your collection. So let's get started. Okay, so our first segment this week is A Reason to Leave. The Reason to Leave segment are for films that are currently in the theaters. And this week, we're going to be highlighting Phantom Thread. Phantom Thread follows Daniel Day-Lewis's character through his everyday life of dressmaking. He makes dresses for some of the most important and affluent people in London in the 1950s. The movie really picks up steam when Daniel Day-Lewis leaves the city for his country house. It's there at a restaurant he meets Alma. Alma quickly becomes his muse and eventually his lover. Alma is played by Vicky Krieps. She's a newcomer to me, but she stands toe-to-toe with Daniel Day-Lewis in some of the most intense scenes I've seen in a while. The dinner scene alone is worth the price of admission. Phantom Thread is by far Paul Thomas Anderson's most accessible film. I would feel comfortable watching this film with my grandmother. I can't say that about all his films like Boogie Nights and The Master. Not that they're not great films. I would just feel a little uncomfortable watching them with my grandmother. Now don't get me wrong, this is still a Paul Thomas Anderson film. There's a scene in the third act that just blew me away. It just kind of shows you the length that people will go for love. So this has been a film that I've been looking forward to for over a year now. Ever since it was announced that Paul Thomas Anderson and Daniel Day-Lewis were going to work together again, I couldn't wait. The first time these two masters of their craft worked together in 2007 on There Will Be Blood, it did not disappoint. It is easily one of my favorite films of the last 15 years. So for me, Phantom Thread doesn't rank as high as There Will Be Blood, but it's still a great movie. Daniel Day-Lewis is still on top of his game, and P.T. Anderson, he wrote, directed, and he was also the cinematographer on this movie. So, is Phantom Thread worth leaving the house for? Absolutely. Daniel Day-Lewis's performance alone is worth getting off the couch for. So, if you have a free day over the next few weeks, I would definitely get out and see it. Okay, so for our next segment, it's something to stream. This week, I'm going to pick this little gem I found on Netflix called Super Dark Times. It's directed by first-time film director Kevin Phillips. So director Kevin Phillips has an awesome backstory. He started in the film industry as a grip, and he worked his way up, and now he's directed his first feature. Super Dark Times follows best friends Josh and Zach as they try to cover up a gruesome accident that eventually drives a wedge between them. Both of the leads in this film are excellent. Owen Campbell, who you might recognize from small parts in Boardwalk Empire and The Americans, and Charlie Tahans, who you might recognize from last year's Ozarks. Super Dark Times definitely has some similar aspects to some of my favorite teen films from the past, like Stand By Me, Gus Van Sant's Elephant, and Mean Creek. If you like any of those 3 films, this is a must-see for you. So if you're hanging out this weekend and looking for something to stream, definitely check out Super Dark Times on Netflix. It's worth it. So for our last segment today, it's One to Own. In this segment, I will highlight a film that I think everyone should have in their collection. And this week, we're going to be highlighting 1985's classic, The Breakfast Club. So I know a lot of you probably already own The Breakfast Club on DVD or Blu-ray, but the version I'm talking about is the new Criterion Blu-ray that was just released. The Breakfast Club is John Hughes' second feature film following 16 Candles. I know there's been various releases of this film in the past on Blu-ray and DVD, but the reason I'm recommending Criterion's Blu-ray because it comes jam-packed with extras you're not going to receive on those other versions. Some of the extras that you won't find on previous releases are new video interviews with Molly Ringwald and Ali Sheedy, and over 50 minutes of never-seen-before deleted and extended scenes. And my personal favorite, a video essay of Judd Nelson reading from John Hughes' personal production notes. And not to mention a beautiful new 4K restoration of the film. Even if you own a previous release of this film, I think it's a good idea to double dip, just because of the amount of extras you're getting and the improvement in audio and picture quality. I know it's a welcome addition to my Blu-ray collection. Thank you for joining me for the first ever Toaster's Choice. Please come back next week, we'll review 3 more films. Until then, keep watching.